TRACC is the Tropical Research and Conservation Centre here in Borneo, based on the island of Pom Pom. It was founded by Stephen Oakley, and he found that there was a lot of problems in Borneo.
We set up TRACC a long time ago so that we could try and make a difference in a way that wasn't possible working from a university.
Biggest problem here is bomb fishing, which, unlike most conventional fishing methods, just obliterates the home of the fish. It doesn't just kill the fish, it kills the corals, which have taken hundreds of years to form and will take hundreds of years to form again.
The day we come to the Pom Pom Island, we've saw the bomb fishing in the sea. This is the first time I saw bomb fishing on my real eyes, because before that I've been hearing about that. But when you saw this just happen in your eye, it's so not good to the reef.
They buy a bomb, like a dynamite bomb, for about 5 ringgit, so less than £1 English. They drop it and basically it kills all the fish, so it's a quick way of fishing, worse than taking a net. But of course, when you're blasting everything. You're killing all the coral. They're killing complete schools of fish, and it's unbelievably bad.
They will kill all the coral, the fish, no matter what's under the sea, and it's also dangerous to diver.
If you go outside of our house reef, you can see the devastation that these dynamites have had. Coral rubble, just slopes of dead coral, bleached coral, just fragments of coral, and no life. There's not visible life. The fish have all moved on or have been killed and eaten.
And you can see the blast sites where people have been blast fishing, and it really hits you hard emotionally to actually see it with your own eyes.
There's nothing in those areas where the bomb fishing has taken place, but then as you swim across and you see the bottle reefs, all the marine, all the wildlife, all of it's back in those areas.
So TRACC focuses on rebuilding these reefs. All the reefs that we have here by being bomb fished, the corals are no longer attached to anything. So we need to give them a structure that's steady, that's going to hold fast, and that the corals can grip to. And from there, they can start to grow on and hopefully develop into strong reefs.
The artificial reefs that we put down igloos, which are basically just pipes made into an igloo shape, and they're not very pretty to look at. But you get them down there, and within 5 or 6 months, you've got heaps of seagrass and stuff catching onto it, and then you've got corals being planted on it, which is expanding. So eventually, in a few years, you're not going to see anything. It's all just going to be completely reef.
The most successful example we have of this is the ribbon reef at the North Tip. This is just a phenomenal burst of life, and then it's just right in your face, fish everywhere, large sweet lips, huge schools of small fish, and it's just an incredible change, and it just proves that it works.
I think just like 3 months ago or something, and they start to build like a lot of those igloos and bottle reefs, and they sunk it, and then now I'm here 3 months after, or 3.5 now, and I see already a big difference in the reefs. They just sunk 3 months ago, and it's really cool to see. You see already small, tiny fish start to move into the bottles. You have small shrimps, crabs, and some fish schooling around, and yeah, it's cool. You see a big difference already.
It seems that it's recovering the reef, and the fish and the organisms are adopting, so to speak, that as their home.
basically all the marine wildlife and everything is coming back into those areas. Turtles like to scratch on the bottle reefs, I've noticed, which is amazing.
We have our house reef, which we've planted all this coral, and it's starting to grow, and it's amazing. You get all these little gobies in the bottles, and all this life is flocking to these planted corals.
In the 5 years that we've been running, we're seeing increased fish numbers, increased species, increased size.
They see it as just natural, and they're adapting and making their home. So it is great. And it's really nice that you have, with Steve, I like very much working with him because you have an idea and he just lets you roll with it. And that's the way to get more and more ideas from everyone. It's a clever way to work.
Working with Steve is incredible because every day you find you have more and more questions. As you are learning more, it feels like you learn one thing and you have 10 more new questions. And just being surrounded by someone who knows so much about this environment, about marine conservation, who's done it for so long, it's just a wealth of knowledge sitting in front of you all the time.
Volunteers are a very important part of what TRACC does. And the volunteers do great work. This isn't possible without volunteers who provide the brute force labour and to some extent the enthusiasm for when it's tough. So, you know, they put bottle reefs in, they put igloos in, they count fish, all of which would not be possible without keen, enthusiastic volunteers. They're both an asset to TRACC, and we like to think that we help their careers. Some have come as carpenters and models and decided that a career in marine science, marine biology was for them.
We aren't just going out and floating through the water looking, pointing at things. We're actually doing things. We're building igloos, we're dropping them, we're planting coral, collecting coral. Sometimes with the A-level we'll bring slates down and we'll actually record what we're seeing down there. So it's not just a mindless drift through the water. At TRACC we're doing work dives, and it's fun, it's exciting, we're learning lots. Some people come just to snorkel, some people don't actually dive, and that's fine too. There's always stuff to do, whether you're a diver or non-diver or want to dive or you've dove for 50 years. I think there's always something to learn here.
TRACC, what they do here is amazing. When you see it for yourself, when you go down and see what they've done, yeah, it's definitely changed my view and the way I see marine conservation, and the direct work from all the volunteers, regardless whether you're diving or snorkeling. You know, there's proof. The proof's in the pudding, as they say. It's right out there, and you can see it. Everyone can see it if they come here.
More Malaysians supposed to come here to volunteer because conservation, this issue is not so common in Malaysians, and it absolutely will be benefits for Malaysians because they should come and have a look how beautiful is Pom Pom Island, Sabah, Borneo, how's underwater in our country. They'll be amazed, and I think after that they will start participating in conservation jobs.
One thing is reading and seeing videos and doing, but actually being here is a difference. It makes you realize that you can make a difference. Really, that's a good feeling inside.
Without the oceans, we're all going to die. The oceans sustain life on this planet. It's not planet Earth, it's planet water. We need to take care of our planet, and that involves a healthy ocean, healthy waterways. And if we don't have that, we won't have healthy lifestyles on land either. People take for granted that there's so much ocean out there, but it's a small world at the end of the day. It's not going to last forever if we keep going along this path of destruction. sad. I think everybody should become a diver because then they get to go down and they get to see. And I think once they fall in love with diving, then they'll really want to help conserve the oceans.